Good morning, afternoon or evening and welcome back to Edenia. My name is Kerbin and we're playing some more Kerbal Space Program. Now we have upgraded most of these buildings, right? We have tier 2 buildings all around. We've got the upgraded... We don't have an upgraded spaceplane hangar or runway just yet, just because we don't need to just yet. But to have an upgraded administration building can prove very interesting, but I think we should save up for the ever so needed science limit of 500 over here, and taking surface samples from the upgraded R&D department. Because right now, if we try to take one of these, we can't because, of course, we haven't gotten that yet, but also there is a science limit. We cannot research technologies over 100 science at this level. So, yeah, basically that means we have to take all of these first, and then we can upgrade the... You don't have to take all of them, but you have to take one of them to take the next one. But we have to upgrade before we can actually take these ones, which are very interesting. Advanced flight control really gives us some great capabilities like the stabilizer and the thruster blocks, the RCS thruster blocks, and also place anywhere RCS ports. You can have these all around your vessel, and it will really help you with tiny maneuvers in space. Now, miniaturization is also very good because it gives us the Clampetron docking port Junior, which is the first one you can get. Advanced electrics is really where it's at. We need to get these nice solar panels for bigger satellites. First of all, though, we need fuel systems. This is going to be paramount to our next mission because we're going to the Mun, and this time we're going to land. These fuel ducts are very interesting to have, and these bigger fuel tanks, of course, always help. So we're going to research these and we're going to purchase all of them. Now, there's also a couple of things that I want to research, but I'm not going to actually buy them, because I'll show you in the vehicle assembly building that you can buy them whenever you need them. Now, we do need most of these. You know what? We're just going to buy everything up to the 90 mark. These thruster blocks will really help. We'll get some... the launch escape system. We'll get some bigger landing struts. That's going to be very nice to have. There we go. Aerodynamics, these circular intakes and also this Weasley turbofan engine will make our planes a lot nicer to have. So there we go. And that's it. Now we can't take anything more, which is great because we didn't really need the brand adapters and the tri-couplers, and we don't really need this airstream just yet, but we will in the near future. These propulsion systems are also very cute, but they don't really... some people use these for probes because they are very light. Then again, if I'm building a probe, I'll just stick with the Terrier engine, one of these, and one of these fuel tanks. That will do nicely. Anyway, we've got what we wanted, so let's build a rocket capable of going to the Mun and back. This will be a science mission, so we will use a Probodobodyne Octo just to get started. And yes, I do say it in that accent because of Scott Manley. If you seriously don't know Scott Manley and you want to learn more about this game, go subscribe to his channel. He is amazing. Alright, so we desperately need some utilities, parachutes on top of this. We are going to need them. And as I said, these entities like the launch escape system, we haven't purchased them, but you can right click and then click here to purchase them anyway whenever you need them. So I'm going to stop buying parts that I'm probably not going to use for very long. Just because I've got a bit of OCD, just a bit of, yeah, how should I put it? I don't really have OCD, I've never been diagnosed, but I have got a bit of self-diagnosed OCD, that's the word. And you shouldn't probably self-diagnose yourself with such diseases. So, there we go. We've got a couple of solar panels because we desperately need them. We might also want to have a battery on this stage instead, and then a parachute. I think that will be fine. We don't need any monopropellant. We've learned from the past. This will do nicely as the upper stage. Now we do need a science rover. So first off, we're going to need some thermal. We're going to need a heat shield to get this package safely back to Earth. Now for the science, we can do with actually making a probe that gathers the experiments in here and will send itself back. For now, we're going to make something that will actually be sent back by the inhabitant Kerbal. So there we go, a couple of these on the side. I don't think we need two of these really. We just need the one because these are reusable. You know what? We're not going to go symmetrical with these ones. We're just going to have one. Just to prove that I don't have OCD, I will not go symmetrical. 4 solar panels, that's nice. In every configuration will face the sun, except if the sun is coming from the downside. We don't really have any systems for that in place just yet. So we'll just have to eyeball it if that happens. Let's see, what else do we need in utility? We might want some drogue chutes. You know, that will probably help with the landing. Now, if we do a drogue chute over here and a drogue chute over here, I believe these are massless. Well, not really massless, but they will translate that mass to the parent body. So the mass will be added to here instead of at this very spot. So if I'm not mistaken, the center of mass should be. Oh no, it has shifted. You see, it will shift. So these are not massless, so these need to be in a symmetrical configuration. That is fine. We can make this in a symmetrical configuration for the parachutes alone. This will do nicely. We don't need any more of these experiments. You know what, we might as well just put them down here on the ladder, because that's where the Kerbal's going to go, and that's where he'll easily let's put this off. He'll easily access these. You know what? Let's test this. This is going to be the Mun Lander. There we go. Mark 1, of course. This is going to be the Mark 1 test. We're just going to have a random Kerbal sitting inside, and we're going to see if we can access these experiments if we EV. Oh, we don't even have a Kerbal. That's a bit of that's a bit of a bummer. All right, let's put someone in. Where are you? We need a scientist, Bob. Bob, you're going to be our test person for this test flight. It's not even really a flight. We can make it a bit of a flight by decoupling this, but I don't. Oh, that didn't even fly us away. There we go. So if you're EVAing, yeah, you can log pressure data, and you can even take it. And there we go. And you can log this, and you can take it as well, I figure. Yeah, there we go. All right, you can easily board back in. Great. Recover this vessel. We are going to make this lander go to the Mun, because we've had a couple of contracts. I haven't even accepted these yet. But there you go. Let's pop into mission control. Explore Kerbin is one. We're going to accept this anyway. We're not going to do it this episode, but it's our exploration of Kerbin is going according to plan. We must continue to unravel its mysteries. We need to test out our rendezvous capabilities. Park 2 vessels next to each other around Kerbin. What could possibly go wrong? Of course, what could go wrong? We also have some rescue missions. We're just gonna put these guys into orbit. I don't know where they are right now. We're not gonna do the tourists. We're gonna plant a flag on the Mun. We're gonna get science data from the Mun, and we could test the small, orbiting Mun. You know, we do have this small landing gear. You know, we're just gonna take these and we're gonna run the test whenever we're ready. Just so we have it. So, yeah, let's take a look in our tracking station. We've got some people going around Kerbin. Yeah, these are in orbit of Kerbin. We'll do a rendezvous later on. For now, this is the Moon Rocket 1 debris. It's going all the way down here, and here's the Mun itself. So didn't... Oh, this is a moon rocket. That's a bit strange because we don't have a moon, we have a mun. Anyway, you can actually click these if you want. You can check terminate to get rid of it altogether. Some people don't like to terminate. Some people like to do actual salvage missions. You can actually get money back from parts you take back to Earth, to Kerbin. What am I saying? Earth does not exist. I used to think it was 450,000 spaceos to upgrade, but of course we're playing on a higher difficulty. That makes everything a bit more expensive. Anyway, let's continue building our moon lander. This is of course not going to be the entire stage that we're going to put on the moon. No, we need to have some coupling going on. Let's see. We're going to take the standard decoupler. We're going to put it as high up as we can. There we go, right over the heat shield. The heat shield is inside this decoupler. That's nice. And we're going to make sure that this thing will fly to the moon and back. Now, what do we need to make sure that happens? We might need a small fuel tank. And we also might need a small engine. Now, this will not be enough, but we're going to make it happen. We're gonna, let's see, we're structural. You know, we can have girder segments, and we can have 4 of these girder segments along here, and this will actually give us room to put some more fuel tanks on the lot. Now we do need a bit more science down here. We need this science bay because we're gonna actually trigger that a couple of times. And this needs to land on the moon. Let's see, how are we going to fix this then? We probably going to need some of these fuel tanks. I think this perhaps is a bit overkill to do it like this. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work perfectly fine. So, you know what? We're going to do it in a different fashion. We're going to do it like this. And we're going to make sure that these fuel tanks... Let's turn off this snapping. And we'll make sure that these fuel tanks are nice and... Oh, that's floating away. That's a bit stupid if you ask me. There we go. Something like this. I don't really know. If you press space, by the way, it goes back into its original orientation. We just want this down a bit, I'm guessing. There we go. Just a bit down. Alright, now we should do with some aerodynamics. Let's put a couple of these on top and a couple of these on the bottom. Because this is going to be far from aerodynamic. And now, if we take a look at fuel tanks, we've got these fuel ducts going on. And these fuel ducts, we're going to attach these in radial symmetry. Let's snap it. There we go. And we are going to make sure that these are being fed into the main little tank. There we go. Now this has happened 4 times all around the vessel. And this will make sure that these tanks drain into that one. So this little lander, we do need legs on it. Normally I wouldn't bother with the legs because we need landing gear for this. This is experimental. It's entirely right. We could put these on, of course, but that would be really awkward. That would be really awkward. The question is not if we could, but if we should, really. Should we put these on? You know what? Let's have a test with these. I'm very eager to see what happens. Let's just have a test run. Just for some laughs. So we'll put these on the launch pad, right? And we'll try to drive them. I don't think we can drive them. We can only turn them. And because they're all driving against each other, we're not really going anywhere. No, we do need them to be in the same orientation as the rest. We could, of course... can we actually... our steering direction inverted? I don't think we can make this work, sadly. Alright, we do need to take these to the moon. We have accepted a contract. That's going to be a bit awkward. But you know what? We'll make it work someday. We'll just let that contract rest. For now, we'll go with the original plan and just have these as the lander legs. It will land on top of these. How's the old impact for that part? I don't know if we can find that. It will tolerate 10 meters per second on impact. That's going to be fine. That's going to be just about fine. Alright, now we need to get this thing up into the moonospheres. So how are we going to go about doing that? We're going to create what I like to call, and what the game likes to call it, coincidentally, a subassembly. So basically what we're going to do is, if you press this button, Advanced Mode, you'll find a couple of new options. You can filter by cross-section profile. For instance, we can only target size 0 parts, which are the 0.625 meter parts, for instance. But you can also have this option for sub-assemblies. Now what we're going to do is we are going to build a sub-assembly and then save it. So what we're going to do is we're going to plonk down this decoupler, right? We're going to grab the nice big fuel tanks, and we'll have no, the even bigger ones. There we go. We'll have 3 of these fuel tanks. There we go. And these 3 will actually serve as our middle stage. We'll have a swivel down here. Now we're gonna copy these and we're gonna put them on some radial decouplers high up, like here, like so. I'm gonna put these on here. There we go. Not so crooked. There we go. Alright, now these are in. We're going to switch out these engines for something a bit more powerful that don't need to steer, because we already have a steering engine. We're going to put some reliance on the side. And these engines will actually cross-feed. These fuel tanks, sorry, will actually cross-feed into the middle fuel tank. There we go. If you try to put it on the other side, coincidentally it will take the shortest route and just make a very short tube. So that's a little tip. If you want to place these effectively, you can just place them here, select the place on the other side, and it will just make the shortest connection possible. Although it didn't do it here, which is a bit strange. Still got a lot of bugs, this game. There we go, and put them down here. Nice small fuel tanks, that's what we like to see. Anyway, these are in place. We do need to strut this up just a second, because it's going to wobble quite a bit. So we'll do the same over here. We'll just strut it like that, nice and clean. And we're going to want to fire all engines at the same time. So that's these 3 engines. These will go at the same time. Then these 2 will decouple, and then this one will decouple. What this means is these 2 will assist lifting off, and this one will actually make sure they get into an orbit, at least, and probably take us to the Mun. Now this lander stage will actually get us on the surface of the Mun, and hopefully back if I've calculated this all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test flight, and if that is correct, then I will actually record it for you to see, and we'll go to the Mun. Now, as you can see, I have put these up a bit. That's because I was going to use these, because I want to use these landing legs. So these need to be a bit higher up, otherwise the craft will be too high and get unstable very soon. Now we do need some more aerodynamics. Let's have some small nose cones. No, those are too small, I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't have the actual bigger small nose cones yet, so we'll just plonk a couple of these on. I think this will do nicely. So we'll enter the ship's description: to the Mun and back. Hopefully. Alright, let's save it. I'm going to do a test ride to see if my calculations were correct. And if they weren't, I'll let you know. Because I don't want you to build this thing thinking it can go to the moon and back and then fail. So I'll be right back. Well, the first test flight went dramatically. So we're going to make a Mark II version already. Also, while I'm here, just quadrupling these boosters. Because the lander stage is quite heavy. I could have gone with a smaller lander, but we want to hop a couple of biomes while we're there. And we also forgot one very important thing. If we're going to be hopping biomes, we might want to have a antenna on top. I think that will... Now, there are multiple antennas in this version. Let's see. This is a relay antenna. We don't really need a relay antenna. We just need a communitron, I guess. So where do we put this? I don't even know what this is. Could we put this... well, it's not massless like this one, so I'm guessing we just stick this one on top. Just on top of the parachute. If you really want to put it in the middle, by the way, you can do... Oh, you can do this. Hold it and engage double symmetry. As soon as they overlap perfectly, take away one symmetry by pressing Shift X and then place it. That is perfectly center now. So yeah, we've got an antenna, that's fine. We've got power, we've got the whole shebang. Now, I've quadrupled these, as you can see, but I also want to do something else. I want to set up some action groups. Action groups are very, very handy to have. We don't have any lights at all on this. Oh, we could have lights, by the way, because we have lights. So why not have some lights? Where are they? Are they in utility? I guess they are. So if you put some lights above these lander legs, that will mean that they are illuminated. So even if we land on the dark side of the moon, we'll be fine. Might just want to put them in between here, by the way. Yeah, I think that's nicer to have them in between there. So that will give us some illumination. The opening and closing of this science bay is purely cosmetic. Not like payload bays, because if you have one of these bays, these doors will physically open and disrupt your spaceship. But these doors are going to be fine. Now, let's talk about action groups, because there are a couple of things you can press during your flight. You can press RCS or SAS or brakes. Now, this craft is not going to have any brakes at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the brakes to deploy pressure data, and also to deploy or log the temperature data, but also to observe the materials bay. We're also going to use it on one of these mystery goo canisters. I think it will do both. Yeah, we'll do both. That's fine. It's fine that it will do both, and we'll also have it do a crew report. So whenever we press the brakes, it's going to do all of those things at once. There we go. Now, light. This will toggle light. That's obvious. Obviously, what's going to happen. We've also got gears, which will use these landing struts. That's fine. Yeah. So I don't know what this... oh, we do need this to actually be there. I don't know what I just... yeah, there we go. Gears will extend or retract these. Great. So now let's test the action groups just for a second, because this is really interesting. Alright, so we're here. We can press the gears button to extend the gears. We can press the light button to activate the lights, and we can press the brakes group to do all of our science at once. So there we go. Now let's recover this vessel, because we're not actually going to fly it. This will actually give us a couple of science. So why not? There we go. And now I'm going to resume my test flight, and we'll see if this works.